The United States entered World War I on the side of the Allies in 1917, after several years of maintaining its neutrality. President Woodrow Wilson had campaigned for re-election in 1916 on the slogan, "He kept us out of war." This abrupt change in policy meant there were many Americans who disagreed with the decision to go to war. As part of the war effort, the U.S. government attempted to quell dissent. For example, Congress passed the Espionage Act of 1917, which outlawed interfering with military operations or recruitment, as well as supporting U.S. enemies during wartime. Although it has been altered many times over the years, the Espionage Act is still in force today. In this climate, socialist anti-war activists Charles Schenck and Elizabeth Baer mailed 15,000 flyers urging men to resist the military draft through peaceful means, such as petitioning for the repeal of the conscription law. They argued that the draft was a violation of the 13th Amendment's prohibition of involuntary servitude. Schenck and Baer were convicted under the Espionage Act for interfering with military recruitment. They appealed to the Supreme Court on the grounds that the Espionage Act violated their First Amendment right to freedom of speech. Finally, Schenck's actions were not protected by the Free Speech Clause. The court upheld the Espionage Act, ruling that the speech creating a clear and present danger was not protected by the First Amendment. This decision shows how the Supreme Court's interpretation of the First Amendment sometimes sacrifices individual freedoms in order to preserve social order. In Schenck v. United States, the Supreme Court prioritized the power of the federal government over an individual's right to freedom of speech. The clear and present danger test established in Schenck no longer applies today. Later cases, like New York Times Co. v. United States, 1971, bolstered freedom of speech in the press, even in cases concerning national security. Freedom of speech is still not absolute, however. The court has permitted time, place, and manner restrictions that may regulate when, where, and how individuals exercise free speech.